Well, thank you and good afternoon. And I'd like to thank all of you, especially our media, for attending today. Today's a very exciting day. And I do apologize for those of you sitting down from, well, perhaps, Mayor, I shouldn't apologize for the bright sunshine that's causing you to put on your shades and the squints that are going out there. But for USA Track and Field, this is the average daily expectation that we have in Albuquerque. So today is a really exciting day because this is a day that we get to focus on something that we don't get to talk a lot about in our great destination. And by the way, I'm Dale Lockett. I'm President and CEO of the Albuquerque Convention Visitors Bureau. And what many people don't know is that while booking conventions into this facility is a very critical and strong part of what we do something else. And that something else has to do with sports, and especially track and field. And so what we're able to talk about today is why Albuquerque has become the epicenter for track and field, especially for indoor track and field events. And we're going to talk to you and have our special guest today help you understand why this is such an important event for Albuquerque and how it came about and how everything happened for us. So what are we talking about? We are the place to be for indoor track and field events and for the athletes that come from all over the United States to participate in these events. Albuquerque is host to 7 indoor track and field events, and starting January through March. So it's not just a couple of weeks out of the year, it is a 3-month period where we get to shine, and we are the epicenter because we have nationally televised events. You'll be hearing more about that happening. This claim is made possible by the city of Albuquerque's willingness to purchase an indoor track that became available and make the commitment to keep the track in Albuquerque and keep it as a high quality event venue for attracting major national events. That takes a lot of working parts, and today at the press conference you're going to hear from the leadership of those working parts that makes it happen. And the strongest cog in all those working parts is our mayor of Albuquerque, who has made the commitment to keep Albuquerque a special place for track and field and for sports. He has a special affinity for it as a former UNM decathlete, so he understands perhaps even better than most what it takes to be a world-class track and field destination. Mayor?
Thanks, Dale. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Dale. I want to thank everybody for being here. I tell you, as a mayor, one of the things you want more than anything for your city is to be a center of excellence. And that can take a lot of different forms and shapes for different cities. But the fact that we are really a center of excellence for track and field, yeah, I was a student athlete at UNM. It's how I paid for my college education. It's got me as a young man to this great city that now I have the opportunity to serve as mayor. So track and field really had a lot to do with shaping me as a young man and providing me opportunities in life. So yeah, I do have a heart for the sport, certainly. But what's really exciting about what we're talking about today is the fact that we have a city that's willing to invest to be a center of excellence. It's not inexpensive to have a track of this quality, and I hope I don't get sued by Ferrari, but what we really have is a Ferrari of a track. We have a track where athletes want to compete. They want to come to a place that's a mile high. It's the high altitude is it really is a benefit to us for world-class performances. We had the world record set in here last year. Jen Scher broke the world indoor pole vault record here. And we just have athletes come here consistently that run faster, that jump higher, that really want to be here. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have a quality facility. And not just a quality facility, but really a world-class facility. We have folks from our Parks and Rec department. Steve comes out here and has made it his passion to make sure that track gets put together, taken down, taken care of, put back together, so that when the athletes show up, they don't have to worry about it. When USA Track and Field shows up, it's ready to go, or Coach Franklin. So we're attracting elite athletes from all over the world here. We had a great meet last week with Coach. He had 35 teams, I think, in. And then at 6 o'clock, an interesting thing happened. At 6 o'clock, Coach has all-comers meet, so you can come down as a citizen of Albuquerque, and you can put $1 down, and you can run a race. And we had kids from 7 years old out there on that track, and we had a lady that was 91 years old out there running on this track. So it's a great community asset as well. But once again, it's not inexpensive. We have taken, last year we bought the whole new bleacher system on the west side. We replaced almost all of the infield because that's what the athletes wanted. This year for the NCAA's, I hope I'm not taking everybody else's talking points, but we put an additional runway in. So we're putting our money where our mouth is, and then we're such a welcoming place that people can come here from anywhere and feel like they're at home, feel like they can really be a part of the community. And in just the first 3 months of 2014, with the events that this track is going to sponsor, we'll have at least almost 5,000 athletes come in with a direct spend of almost $2 million. Counting events that ACVB has booked and continuing through the year 2018 with those events, the numbers include 28 events, 23,000 athletes, $7.3 million in direct spend for our city. So there's an economic driver to this as well. On top of that, it's a showcase opportunity. We have students from Ohio State, North Carolina, Oregon, Stanford, USC, UCLA, Colorado schools, all around us. Everybody wants to be here. They want to run in this track, and so they get a chance to come here and see Albuquerque at our best. And when USA Track and Field puts their events on, and Coach Franklin brings events in, these world-class athletes come, and I've talked to several of them personally, and they have a real fondness for our city. As they go through life, maybe they can see other opportunities here. So we just have, a lot to offer. Albuquerque is a place where you can do and see things that you just can't do and see in lots of places. Some of the things we have here are so unique that there's no place in the world you can do them but here. So people love the food, they love the culture, they love the people, and they get to put in their best times of the year, and in some cases, qualify for world championships, qualify for NCAA championships. So it's all around. It's a great thing. And what I want to do as a mayor is just talk to our community and say, listen, great things are happening here. World-class events are happening here. You can come down here and watch a world record being set. I came down here 2 years ago. One of the guys jumped 7'8" in the high jump. If you've never seen anybody jump 7'8" in the high jump, you got to come check it out. It's an amazing thing. You're like, how does a human being do that? Well, they're doing it right here in Albuquerque. So we want to encourage the community to come down. It's inexpensive. It's a great way to bring your family down for it's a good value from an entertainment standpoint, but it's also, compared to what you think you'd have to pay to see someone running the Olympics, for example, but it's also a way to show your kids, look, these are world-class athletes, and it shows our young folks what it looks like to be exceptional, and then they can talk to the athletes because they can come down here. My niece was down here last year. She's getting her shoes signed by the athletes. She's talking to Jen Scher, who just broke the world record, and she's telling my little niece who's in the 6th grade, you can do this too. You can if you work hard enough and you put your mind to it, you can actually you can achieve great things. So I'm ranting because it's such a wonderful thing that we're doing here. A lot of folks have a lot to do with this. ACVB, thank you. Coach Franklin's really brought this to the next level for us, Coach. I know you're going to be speaking in a minute, but thank you for your passion. USA Track and Field, thanks for giving us an opportunity. And we're going to be bidding for this this national championship again here in the next year, I think. And we're going to do everything we can to bring that event back because it's important to the city. And we just really enjoy hosting it, and I know the athletes like it as well. Parks and Rec staff, everybody that's been involved in this to promote it. So, and all the high school coaches and everybody that brings their families down here, we appreciate you supporting it because it's good stuff. So, I'm excited. Can you tell? I mean, it's hard to stop talking about it. But I'll let Dale take it back over. And once again, everybody that's been involved in making this happen. Special shout out to Councilor Brad Winter. He's one of the guys that was really early on in this, and he's been a real champion to bring this facility here and help support it through the years. And it just takes a lot of folks that really care about it to make it happen. So thank you a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. One thing to keep in mind is when the mayor talked about the economic impact, which comes from the athletes as well as their families coming in to participate in these events, it's a lot higher than what he actually gives in the numbers. The numbers that we talk about are just the numbers of the athletes that come into town, and as it's not very easy to track all the other people that come in to be participants and to come in as well as to see this event. So it's a very conservative number. It is a huge investment. It is a tremendous return on investment that this track has provided to the city, both in terms of economic return on investment as well as national recognition. And speaking of recognition, it takes a strong partner to be able to do this. The mayor's mentioned Parks and Recreations, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that in just a moment. But one of the strongest partners, without a question, that is critical to the success of this event is University of New Mexico, and especially UNM's track and field and athletics department. We have Coach Joe Thompson here. Franklin, I knew I was going to do that. I knew a Coach Joe Thompson before. Coach Franklin is here to talk about the impact and what the role of UNM is. And I know why I got off beat is because it really is intimidating. You are who you represent. Look at the physique that the coach has, that Jim Estes with US Track, and our mayor. I mean, I stand here and I go, wow, I must be in the hospitality industry because I'm certainly not in track and field or athletics. So Coach, in case I mess it up anymore, would you please come bail me out? Thank you.
Well, this is a very unique partnership with the City of Albuquerque, the University of New Mexico, and Parks and Rec. And even though I'm up here talking to you right now, there are many people that do lots of things, from Stephen Madrid in Parks and Rec, to Barbara Baca, to Dan Ballou in Convention Visitors Bureau, to Rich Cerrone, who's our nuts and bolts of putting the meets on. Our meets that we have here at the University of New Mexico are attracting the best universities in the country. Not only are they some of the best athletic universities in the country, some of them are the best academic universities in the world. We'll have Stanford here. We've had UCLA in the past. They're coming this weekend. We had South Carolina, Florida State. You know, people may not know this. 3 of their football players that played in the BCS National Championship game, they ran last weekend. All across the country. And this weekend we have another big one with Notre Dame. Notre Dame's coming in. They're flying in tonight at 9 o'clock. They haven't been to an athletic competition in the state of New Mexico since 1992. So the Irish will be here. It is across the board the best facility in the country. Why do I say that? When I proposed this to the NCAA many years ago with Division II and USATF, when Dan was bidding for this, I like to think of it as the 5. We're the 505. We're a 5-minute drive from the airport. We're a 5-minute walk to great restaurants. We're a 5-minute walk to great hotels. We're a 5-mile drive to upscale shopping. It is all within 5. And that's what makes Albuquerque so unique. When these events happen in other cities, they may have 45-minute drive. They may have an hour-and-a-half drive just to get to the venue. Then the hotels may be far off in another town. That doesn't happen in Albuquerque, and that's what makes us so unique, coupled with the best track in the world. Our meets this year on this venue will be 2 of the 3 best meets in the world, other than the IAAF World Championships. The USATF Championships are here, which will serve as the trial for the team, and the NCAA Championships. As far as I'm aware, no state, no city has ever hosted both in the same year. That is an accomplishment. Usually they're in other locations. We're doing it here this year, and that economic impact and that visibility for that 3-week period is going to be unmatched and unprecedented. And what's great about it is it's a lot of fun. We have so many people that enjoy this, and so many people that come to Albuquerque and say, I just didn't know. So if we just get these people to know, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't know who's sitting in the stands, who's watching their daughter run. Maybe they're the CEO of a company. Maybe they're a venture capitalist, and maybe eventually they end up here. And that's all what this is about, is name recognition. Putting Albuquerque and continuing to grow name recognition of Albuquerque in the state of New Mexico and the University of New Mexico. I encourage everybody to come out this weekend. It's going to be a great event with UCLA, Arizona State, Notre Dame, I'm going to go blank, TCU, Utah State, Air Force, Nebraska, and UNM, all fighting it out on the track. And that is going to be a great competition. Years ago, when the mayor was competing, we used to fill up Tingley Coliseum. We can fill up the Albuquerque Convention Center. and give everybody a great taste in their mouth when they leave and they think, Albuquerque's awesome, because that it truly is. When these events go other places, next year, the NCAA meet is someplace else, I think it may be in Arkansas, they're gonna fly into Tulsa, and they're gonna drive an hour and a half. They're gonna fly into Northwest Arkansas, and they're gonna drive 30 minutes. They're gonna stay in Bentonville and fight traffic for 40 miles. We did that last year, Stephen. You know, they're gonna be 5 minutes away here. Thanks a lot, guys. It's gonna be a great, great year.
Thank you, Coach Franklin, and I think you can see why I've fallen in love with him. I hate to admit that publicly, but I have. The first thing that he said when he came up to me was, "Dale, do you know how many room nights we're generating for this city?" I don't know how many track and field coaches of his stature and nature even understand the importance in the community of what generating room nights for a destination means. So to have that recognition and knowledge is something really important. So thank you, Coach. We have probably the big daddy of our track and field events here represented by USA Track and Field. And we have someone who flew in just recently, who I have to say I'm absolutely amazed. Again, he is who he is, track and field, so it was like minus 25 degrees when you took your last run before yesterday.
-2.
-2, but wind chill, I think, was even lower. So that's dedication. Jim Estes represents the governing body for U.S. Track and Field, and he has put Albuquerque, his organization has put Albuquerque on the map because of the venue and the opportunity. So I'd like to ask to come to the podium to talk about what this event means, having it in Albuquerque, as well as what kind of expectations we might have. Jim, welcome.
Thank you. As far as being the big daddy, I'm just one of them around there. I actually have a whole team of people here with me that do the work, and kind of like you guys have here, a great team that makes track and field happen in Albuquerque every year. And so first off, just want to say thanks to everybody that makes sure that track goes up and everything's right, and the people that are running the meets, and Coach Franklin and all of his support staff that really support track and field here. And the mayor did take a lot of my talking points earlier, so it's going to be nice and short. I'm kidding. But one of the things that USA Track and Field does love about Albuquerque is a lot of things that the mayor was talking about. You create a lot of touch points for track and field in general, and they prove to be a benefit, obviously, for the community of Albuquerque from an economic impact standpoint, but it's great for us because it helps build a fan base, and I think we've seen another track community spring up in Albuquerque and come alive again. And so it's great being back here every year. On top of that, we have great performances every year. With this being a world qualifying year, you're going to find a lot of names, Olympians and world champions that are going to be back here in Albuquerque trying to get on that world team. So it's going to be some great track and field. Hope everybody comes out and enjoys that. And on top of that, you obviously have several other meets throughout the year that you get to enjoy. And it's, like I said, a great thing to see for track and field, somebody embrace it like they have and commit to it, and not only use it for the elite athletes, but use it to benefit the community. Having these meets during the week and having people come out and experience track and field themselves, run races on the track, it's a great thing to do, and we appreciate it. So, thank you.